What's up, guys? Rob from Clicks Geek, and in today's video we're going to talk about where the future of automated bid strategies with Google AdWords is headed. Google Ads, whatever they keep, I don't know, they keep changing their name. Google Ads, where Google Ads is headed. And this is pretty important because if you follow the trends, you'll be able to see that Google is weaning off of manual CPC. They don't, I mean, and that makes sense because you can't even really compete. So if you're doing manual CPC and let's assume you don't even have enhanced CPC checked, you're adjusting these bids yourself at every level. And when you have an auto bid strategy going, it's Google's algorithm is looking at your historical account data, determining which keywords are driving the most clicks, which keywords are losers and not converting, which keywords are converting, and they're auto adjusting these bids for every auction hundreds of times a day to get you the most optimal results. There's just no possible way that a person or an agency or whoever can keep up with this in the future. It's just not. We don't even really run manual CPC anymore, except for a certain niche that we're in. We like to start out with it because it's fast off. It's fast off the. Once we get the campaign live, we start getting clicks really fast. But normally, we always start our campaigns with maximize clicks, and we let Google do their thing. And then after we have a solid 30 days of conversion data, which is which is usually over 20 conversions a month, then we roll that. We switch this over to maximize conversions, and we let Google's algorithm do its thing. And because we're giving maximize conversions algorithm everything they need when we have 30 days of history of keywords that have gotten a ton of clicks and keywords that have sent conversions and keywords that have not sent conversions. And Google's AI then can go in there and just figure out which, and adjust bids accordingly to get us the most maximum conversions for within our budget. So that's something to keep in mind when you're running maximize conversions, is that you got to make sure that you have conversion history in the account. Otherwise, and I should say, you got to make sure that you have for any of these automated bid strategies, you have to make sure you have conversion tracking set up correctly. All right, and if you don't know how to set that up or anything like that, just go to our channel and we have several playlists for conversion tracking and how to set it up, and you guys can check those out. But my point is here, 2021, 2022, you can kind of see where the trend is going already. It's leaning heavily towards Google's algorithm, which is only going to get better with time. These guys are brilliant. They're brilliant engineers. These algorithms are only going to get more and more dialed in. So with time, this is where it's going. Eventually, I honestly don't think you're going to be able to manual CPC, or at least it'll be very limited, even more limited than it currently is in the future, because you're not going to be able to compete. And whether you're a business owner listening to this, or you're a marketing guy, or you're an agency owner, you can't compete with an AI algorithm that's adjusting bids hundreds of times a day, and you're in here trying to mess around with keyword and ad group bids. And this thing is optimizing, your ad schedule, your device bid, like all your different stuff that it can possibly adjust, and it's going in there and doing all this stuff in real time. So that's where this is going, and everyone needs to kind of act accordingly when it comes to doing their campaigns. And what do I mean by that? I mean, I know it can be scary to let Google do the bidding for you or for your clients' campaigns, but you got to just kind of take the Band-Aid off and do it as safe as possible. I know it can be scary, but so here's an example of how we do it. So we usually start every campaign with maximize clicks. And something to note that's very important, I highly recommend, if you do use maximize clicks, that you do set a maximum cost per click bid limit. Otherwise, Google will go friggin' nuts and bid $100 for keywords that should be $25. All right. So let's say, by adding this $50 here, we're telling Google, look, man, you can go $0 to $50 is your budget. That's it per keyword. We're not letting you bid more than $50. And depending on what niche it is, obviously this can go up or down. But in a limo niche, I would put this down to $30, something like that. But if we're in personal injury in Los Angeles, obviously it's going to be way, way higher. And it also depends on your budget and stuff. It's like this budget's just a standard 25 a day. So obviously I'm not going to put a high budget like this for a small budget, or for a high bid like this for a small budget. Excuse me. So that's something important to understand with starting maximize clicks. So what we do, we roll out maximize clicks. We let it run, we let it do its thing, get all the clicks, we let it get conversions, and then once we have a solid 30 days of conversion data of over 20 leads, over 20 registered conversions, I should say 30 to 60 days. So the safe bet is a little over a month. So maybe like 45 days running, and it has a solid conversion history of at least 20 conversions. Then we come over and we switch it to maximize conversions, and we let Google's algorithm do all the heavy lifting for us. And that's pretty much, and this takes, so something I should say about maximize conversions is this is not a silver bullet, guys. All right. This takes weeks for the algorithm to dial in. All right. So don't turn it on and think that you're going to get like a ton more conversions in the first couple of days. Usually, honestly, we've seen it do worse the first week or two. And it usually starts dialing in around 4 weeks, and then it starts going way up. So after 4 weeks, this thing it's doing its job. It's doing all the heavy lifting, and we're happy with it. But this is just something that I think people are going to have to start understanding. They're going to have to start learning more about these bid strategies, these automated bid strategies, because this is where the future is going. Like I said, manual CPC is not, you're not going to be able to compete with this stuff. It's just not. So if you want, I can run through and just kind of briefly, we'll just cover what it's, just what the gist of how each of these works. And I have way more in-depth videos in my channel on, just look at the bidding playlist. I go through each one of these in detail, how it works. But if we hover over target CPA, so I should say first, before we do anything, the three favorites that we use for, and we have an agency, so a white label agency and a retail agency. So keep in mind, in the white label side, we're dealing with hundreds of accounts. So we know what we're doing when it comes to these automated bid strategies. And the three that we rely on the most are target CPA, maximize clicks, and maximize conversions. So I should say that off the bat. So don't be scared if you see this and you're like, what the hell is this? I don't know how to use this. I don't want to get crushed. Just start with something small like maximize clicks. Let it get going. Let it do its thing for you. And then you can always move it into a more auto conversion type strategy. All right, so let's just talk about target CPA. What is it? So it sets bids to get the most conversions possible while reaching your average cost per acquisition. So you set the cost per acquisition, the CPA goal. So if we go over here, Google was going to give you a suggestion based on the data that they have in your account. So like I said, you don't want to really use this strategy either unless you have a solid 20 conversions in the past 30 days, because we need Google's algorithm needs that historical data to determine, like, okay, what's going on here, like which keywords are winners, which are losers, which are wasting money, which can be bid more to get more conversions. So Google needs that history. So it's really important that you have at least 30 days of account conversions and history and stuff like that. And it's going to give you a suggestion of what you should set it at, but you can always just set it for whatever you want. From everything I've seen, this usually comes in either just a tad over what you set it at, or several, $10 under, $10 to $15 under. It just depends on how long you let it run. Again, this is another strategy where you got to give it time. You can't just turn it on and then wait in a couple days, be like, what the hell, it's not working, blah, blah, blah. It's going to take a few weeks to let the algorithm go through sift through everything and get sorted out. All right, so that's pretty much how it works. You're telling Google, hey, I want you to do all the automated bidding. I don't care what you bid, but I want my leads at this cost. So let's say for the party bus thing, I say I want $16 leads. Or I always do like some obscure $16.45 or whatever. I always do something like that with bidding. So that's target CPA. Target return on ad spend sets bids to help you get the most conversion value while maintaining your target return on ad spend. And it's pretty much the same thing. You're kind of just, if you hover over here, it gives you a big explanation. Here's a great example. If your goal is to get an average of $5 in sales for each dollar you spend on ads, your target return on ad spend would be 500%. So that's where you're just going to put in, you're going to figure out, you have to know your numbers obviously to use this. So you're just going to put your percentage in here that you want to get returned. Next, to maximize clicks, this is my favorite to start, is Google's gonna do its auto bidding thing, and you're letting Google take the reins, and they're gonna auto bid to get you the most amount of clicks, not conversions, clicks. They're gonna do their best to get the most amount of clicks within your designated budget, and all your keywords and stuff like that. Google's taking you out of the equation. So keep in mind, you need to have your keywords dialed in match type wise. If you're using Maximize Clicks, I highly suggest you do not run broad match keywords on Maximize Clicks. I've seen it become a total disaster for people. But if you've got it dialed in, you're running a lot of exact match or really well done high intent keywords, even phrase match, it does really well. And just make sure you always set a maximum CPC bid limit, like I said before, or else they'll go crazy. Maximize conversions. So you're letting Google do all the bidding again, and Google's only concern is getting you the most amount of conversions within your daily budget. That's pretty much all it will do. And you don't really have much control over the cost per conversion, although I've seen it do really well. I've also seen it do really bad, so it really depends. You have to test it. Most of the time, I'd say 85% of the time, this strategy works really well. You got to let it run though, like I said, at least 4 weeks. Unless it's killing you and you're getting $500 leads where you should be getting $50 leads, something like that, then obviously target CPA might be more your speed. But I haven't seen it do anything that crazy. It's a great strategy. Like I said, we always start out with maximize clicks, then we roll over to maximize conversions or target CPA, depending. Maximize conversion value. Google Ads automatically sets your bids to help you get the most conversion value from within your budget. And it's pretty simple. It's going based off of the value you set in your conversion action, and it's going to try and get you the best conversion value you can get within your budget. Target impression share. We use this in smaller locations mostly. We don't really use this too much. Just in a few smaller locations is when we kind of roll it out, where there's limited population, because we always want our clients' ads for that location to be on the top. Or if there's lawyers who just are those guys who are just, and I'm sure you guys have had those clients who are like, I want to be number one, I don't care what it costs all the time, then this is what you want to be doing. Essentially what you're doing, you're telling Google that you want to have, so impression share is a percentage. It goes from 0 to 100%. 100% impression share means your ads are showing 100% of the time. So let's say if you have a 50% impression share, every 100 searches for all of your keywords, your ads are only going to show 50 times. All right, so that's how it works. And there's a few things to do when setting this up. So it says, where do you want your ads to appear? So this is really important. Anywhere on the results page is not a good option, because that's Google saying, okay, well, I can put them at the bottom then, because that's technically on the results page. And you're just going to get a bunch of impressions and no clicks or low click-through rates, because you're going to get crushed because no one's going to see your ads. So top of results page, or absolute top, which is like the top 3. The top absolute top's like, it's basically position 1 or 2. I always usually just use it for top of results page in the times when I do use it. And then right here, you just tell Google what percent impression share do you want to target. So out of 100, how many, what's your target impression share you want to get? And we usually do like 90, 95, something like that. And again, this is important. You can set a maximum CPC bid limit, but keep in mind, if it's too low, you're never going to reach your designated impression share that you want to hit, because you're telling Google, you can't go past 65, even if it takes 78 or 73 to get to 90%. You can't do it, so you're going to hinder them. But this is something where I always start low. In the times I have used this, I always start low, and then based on the data that comes back in 7 days, I'll look at this and be like, okay, we got to bump this up, and I'll bump it up $5 or whatever, and then give it 7 more days and see where it shakes out. And then obviously manual CPC. You're doing all the bids yourself. You have the option here to check enhanced CPC, which pretty much everyone does who's using manual CPC, because enhanced is just, you're letting Google adjust your bids based on which keywords they think can get more conversions and which ones can get less conversions. So they're gonna, it's a hybrid form of auto bidding is what it is. But like I said, guys, I just wanted to run through this real quick and kind of give you my thoughts and where this is all headed. I mean, like I said, 2021, 22, 23, Google's only going to get more advanced, more smart, and you're not going to be able to compete with the auto bid strategies if you're running manual. And I know manual is great. I've been using it for years. I've been doing this for over 10 years. So I grew up on manual CPC. I know all about it. All right, trust me, I get it. But we got to adapt, because Google's adapting, and the future is automated bid strategies. All right. Hopefully my little rant wasn't too long for you, but don't forget to subscribe to our channel by clicking the red subscribe button down in the bottom right of this video. If you have any comments or questions or even ideas, anything you want to talk about regarding this, where this is headed, drop that in the comment section below this video. And don't forget to check out the links in the description. I'll put some stuff in there for you guys.